Okay, everyone, thanks for joining. You're joining the information session. It's actually going to be our last one for the CESC minor, Community Engagement and Social Change minor. I am the CESC advisor. My name is Charlie, and today joining us is our student ambassador for the minor, Amara Patel. I'll have her introduce herself in a couple slides. But thank you all for joining, and I hope it's worth your while to be joining our info session. So, quick overview, we're going to do an introduction of the minor, eligibility and benefits, the requirements, the capstone project, which is a senior capstone, any special programs that we have to offer, the application, and obviously our contact information. But if you have any questions, you can always just shoot them in the chat or you can unmute yourself. I am going to put my email in the chat right now, just in case after the session, you have any questions that you probably didn't think of until the session was over. You can shoot me an email, so it should be in the chat. So what is community engagement? A great person to start us off would be our student ambassador, Amara. She is a student that is in the minor. So before I get started on what community engagement is, it'd be great if Amara, you can talk about the minor and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, yeah, I'm Amara. I'm a third year ecology student, and I'm obviously in the community engagement and social change minor. This minor, the cool thing I like about it is the community engagement aspect. So basically, what this means is that a lot of the courses that you'll be taking, part of your grade and part of what you're learning is involved in a community in UCLA or around UCLA. So for me, one of my community engaged courses I took was Engaging in Los Angeles, which we'll talk about later. But basically, I got to work with a nonprofit in our area and help um, learn from them, and that was part of my like learning experience for the class. Um, I'm pre-med, so a lot of the classes I'm kind of tailoring my minor towards are health disparities. I'm currently taking EEB 158, which is about health disparities in the environment, which is super cool. So you can kind of tailor the minor towards whatever you're more interested in. So for me, I'm taking classes that are more health-based, but there are some people that will work on more like prison reform or social welfare. So you can kind of pick and choose what, and design the minor for whatever interests you particularly have. But yeah, the biggest thing I think that connects all of those different interests is the community engagement aspect of that, of getting out and like getting hands-on experience in the community.
Thanks, Amara. And I wanted to touch upon a point you said that, yeah, this minor, first off, it's open to all majors and to open to basically all interests that students have. In a couple of slides, I'm going to go over some community engaged courses that could actually fulfill a lot of your other major requirements. You would still have to speak with your major advisor or counselor to confirm, but this minor is very open to be added to any other major, just as it says here. So can be combined with any other major. It's an interdisciplinary program that examines traditions of social justice and activism, very closely to what Amaro just explained. It addresses systemic inequity through active participation in the community. So again, it's in the title, community engagement. This minor is very focused on community engagement. So if that's something that you're interested in, this is the minor that you should apply for. So who is in the CESC minor? All my majors are welcome. All class standings are welcome. Students interested in this minor, I mean, it's a long list. Social activism, if you're interested in that, social work, art activism, public health and medicine. Like Amara said, it's open to all majors and all student interests. So there's no shortness of finding what you want to do in this minor. So some reasons to pursue the CESC minor. One, versatility. It can be combined again with any major. It does offer real world impact. It focuses on active community participation. Hands-on experience goes with the real world impact. It focuses on active participation in communities and allows students to gain practical experience. And a big one too is career preparation. The skills and experience gained from the minor can be applicable to a wide range of careers in nonprofits, government agencies, education, healthcare, and the list does go on. And by pursuing the minor, students not only enhance their academic and professional prospects, but also position themselves as leaders in creating a more equitable and just society. So this is what the minor is about: society, community engagement, and you actually having that hands-on real-world impact when you're in the minor. Hello, if you just joined us, we are a couple slides into the minor. I'm going to put a link in the chat for you to complete one of our Google forms. to take attendance. And I'm also going to include a list of our courses that we have to offer, which I'm going to go over in the next slides to fulfill the minor requirements. So eligibility requirements. You must have a cumulative GPA of 2.0 or better, attend an information session, which is this one, complete an online application, and then students must be able to complete all degree requirements, including requirements for your minor and your major, within your time to degree, meaning on your DARS where it says that you're set to graduate spring 2025, by that time we want to make sure that if you apply for the minor, you'll be able to complete those requirements by the time you graduate. Because we do have the capstone I'll go over that is set for only your winter and spring quarters of your senior year. So we got to make sure that by the time you apply that you're going to be able to complete those requirements. So requirements for the minor, there are 7 courses in total, so it's a great complement to any major. It's not too many courses where it's overwhelming. It complements any major very well. And for the first requirement is the core course. You can choose one of the two, either CESC 50 XP, which is offered fall, winter, and spring, or CESC 100 XP, which is only offered in the winter. And that's how you fulfill the first core course requirement. I'll go over the next requirements in the next slides. So the first one of the 2 courses is CESC 50 XP, Engaging Los Angeles, and I am going to have Amara take the floor to explain the course. She actually completed the course, so she's the perfect person to talk about it.
Yeah, so I took this class as my first kind of introduction to the minor. I actually wasn't declared as a community engagement minor when I took this class. And so the nice thing about that was it counts as a GE. So like it was kind of a win-win scenario for me. Like I wasn't just taking a class, and if I didn't like it, I had like wasted a class. But I highly recommend this course. It's super cool. Basically, you every single week there's a different theme about a different social issue in LA. So one week we talked about like prison reform, one week we talked about environmental health disparities, one week we talked about housing crisis. Um, Anyways, you get to go through those weeks and kind of learn about all the social issues impacting LA. And then part of the grade that you get is you have to volunteer at a nonprofit for a certain amount of hours every week. And then you write like reflections about like what you're learning there. And you kind of overall just get a good intro into what community engagement is and kind of the language that people will use, especially when you're talking about social issues. So you'll learn the difference between like an upstream cause of a social issue versus a downstream cause. Really cool stuff if you're interested in any sort of like political organizing as well. Like you kind of learn about like what it takes to make a big social change, which I thought was really helpful. And then you can kind of, I know I used what I learned in that community engaged class back at, I'm from out of state when I went home for that summer in the nonprofits I was involved in back there. I got to kind of use what I learned, which was super cool. And then the other thing that I really like about this class is that there's no tests or anything, but what you do is you pick a social issue in LA and you research it, and that's like your midterm. And then your final is it's not even a full paper. It's like you suggest how to solve this particular social issue that you did research in. So it's cool in the fact that like you're learning about obviously very serious problems in LA, but you're also learning about how people are going after like solutions, which I think is really cool. But yeah, very highly recommend this course.
Thanks, Amara. I really love how you talked about, students seeing what they can do in the community, not just learning about it, but actually coming up with solutions. And I think that's very beneficial for this minor and for the future. There's going to be issues in your communities around you, and it's great to have a plan to actually do something about that. So thanks for sharing that. So that is the first course out of the 2 that can fulfill one of the course requirements. And the second one is actually CESC 100 XP, again, only offered in the winter. And this one explores, oh, someone's trying to come in. We have one more student joining us. Yeah, so this course examines like the theories and concepts of civic engagement and as a means to achieve social justice. So exploration of what informs and influences student theories of change. So this is a little more theory based, but it's still an awesome course to choose if you can choose between either CESC 50 XP or CESC 100 XP. So you do have those 2 options. Just remember, 100 XP is only offered in the winter. So the next requirements, or one requirements, is 2 community engaged courses. And I'm going to go over what those are, what they look like. And I do have a list. Again, if you just joined us, I'm gonna put it again in the chat. The list of our approved courses, meaning courses that would fulfill the minor. That's a list I base my research on and making sure that you meet your requirements and what other students as well do too. And you would need 2 of those courses. So let's talk about that. So community engaged courses. Students participate actively in community settings through these courses, which are offered in a wide range of majors and minors. And if you look to the right, these are some of the majors, minors that offer XP courses. Um, you can search for XP courses on the schedule of classes, and community engaged courses typically have an XP suffix in the course number. So for example, I don't know, let's say Dance 103 XP. That's how you know it's a community engaged course. And it varies, activities vary by the focus of the course, ranging from direct service to consulting to research. And these courses are already offered across campus in over 30 majors and minors, which I showed here on the right. So not only can you fulfill your minor requirements, but there is a possibility you can fulfill your major requirements while also fulfilling your minor. So keep that in mind. I do suggest students reaching out to their major advisor for that because it's great to have a course that can fulfill both. And next up, I want to talk about one other way you can fulfill the community engaged course requirement is actually enrolling in a 195 CE internship course. So it can satisfy the community engaged course requirement for the minor. You would have to secure an internship with an outside business, nonprofit, or government agency. It must be approved by the departmental 195C graduate student instructor during your intake appointment. It gives you 4 units. Some requirements are a minimum of 80 hours of internship work for at least 8 weeks of the quarter. And here's some of the class requirements. And this is something that all students could do, not just students in the minor, but is a great way for you to gain experience for the minor and to gain an internship experience as well too. You never know where that can lead. And some examples of possible internship sites. So here on the left are some examples that students have done in the past, but keep in mind yours can vary and students are responsible for securing their own internship before enrolling into 195C. So don't feel like you're locked in just to finding these internships. It can be almost any internship that you can find, and as long as it meets certain criteria, and obviously we want it to be of your interest, that's how you can apply the 195 CE course to that internship. But again, these are just courses, actually internships that students have done in the past, which students have loved. All right, next requirement is one strategy of social change course. So I wanted to briefly go over the list that I put in the chat. So if you're thinking, okay, I did one of the 2 for the core course, community engaged course, maybe you do 195 CE and you're thinking of your second one. I mean, if you look here, whole list of courses to choose from. And then our next requirement is strategy of social change, and you just need one. So you can decide from this long list which one you would like to pursue. Keep in mind though, some of these courses like for poli-sci may have some restrictions for poli-sci students only. That is out of our hands, unfortunately, because that is their courses, that is their department. So keep that in mind when looking through the list, but we do have some CESC specific courses for the minor to fulfill the minor. So if we count
And
one,
then, oh,
yes, go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
One thing I just want to add is that if you are taking a class that you think might count for any of this and that's not on the list, we have a really easy petition system. I actually petitioned a course this quarter that's getting counted now. It's on our website. It's a nice Google form that, so the class I was taking at, it's the first time it's being offered. So obviously we didn't have it on our list yet. So if you're taking a class and you're like, this could count as like my elective or like a strategy of change or whatever, you feel free to petition that. It's a evolving list.
Yeah, thank you, Amara. A great point you brought up. So yeah, like she said, maybe you're completing a course for your sociology major, but you don't see it listed here and you think this is something that I think could be used for the minor. Then like she just said, you can submit a petition clicking this link, and usually within 7 to 10 days, you do hear back if the course has been approved or denied. And students always ask me, should I petition for this course? And I always say yes. If it gets approved, that's one less course you have to worry about for the minor, and it may count for your major as well too. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, 7 courses in total. We're almost finished with the minor requirements. One more you need is an upper division elective requirement. So for this one, let's say you really love community engaged courses or a strategy of social change course, and you want to maybe take one more here or one more here. The extra course would just lapse to be your upper division elective. So that's all it is. Many students end up taking the strategy of social change course. They really like the courses that are offered, so they already completed one. So the second one would just become their upper division elective requirement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last two, which is kind of 2-in-1. This is your capstone. It's your senior capstone project, and it's split into two courses. So in the winter of your senior year, you're going to enroll into CESC 191 AX, and that's where you're going to talk about your research on honing in what you want to research, what your topic is going to be. And the professors are really awesome. They're going to be able to support you and kind of, again, hone in what it is you want to research. And then in the spring of your senior year, you're going to enroll into 191BX, where you actually do that research, reach out to community partners, internships. That's where the true research does happen, which is in the second part. So those are the two courses that you need for your capstone project. And students love completing and enrolling into their capstone because it's their research, it's their topic, it's their interest. It's not something that a professor makes you do, it's something that you actually want to do. And obviously you get graded for it, so it doesn't get better than that. So they must be taken in succession again. 191AX, winter quarter of your senior year, 191BX, spring quarter of your senior year. And if you do apply and get into the program, you will be receiving emails from me, from professors, kind of reminding you that your capstone is coming up. So it won't be a surprise when you're like, oh, I didn't even know I had to enroll for the capstone. You'll know by then when it's getting closer for you to enroll into these courses. So some examples of capstone projects. I mean, there's some under social sciences, under education, public policy, public health, humanities, sciences, and it's not just on these topics. I mean, it can be in a lot more. Students can come in with their own topic that they would like to pursue, which is not on this list, which is what we like. And it's pretty awesome seeing that, seeing students doing topics that are not kind of the norm for our minor. We encourage that. So students enrolled in 191AX and 191BX will complete an e-portfolio where they will capture their experiences or reflections of being in the minor and how they will use the minor in the future. As Amara said, a big reason students do this minor is because they get to learn about the issues and concerns of communities, but then they also figure out what they can do. And that's what this capstone is here to focus on as well too. Researching and seeing what can be done even after you graduate. All right, and now we're going to talk about some special programs. I should take off that S because it's only one for now. One program that I am the program coordinator for, so if you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me as well. It's the Quarter Washington program, and for that program, students would need to enroll in these three courses, but we could only accept two for the minor. So it would be poli-sci and 194 DC, that would count as an elective requirement. And again, that 195 CE course, just turns out that for the program, you need to complete that course, the 195C internship course, and it also counts for your minor as well too. So if you were to pursue this program, it would benefit you because you would at least have two courses that can be used for the minor. I wish this one could be used, but it's pass or no pass. We only accept letter grade in the minor. And if you have any questions about the Corner Washington program, feel free to email me after the session. I'd be happy to talk about that as well too. All right, so now let's look at some plan, a 3-year plan. I also have a 2-year plan coming up, but a 3-year plan, see what that looks like. So in the winter, you can enroll in 50 XP, one of the core requirements needed. Then you can work on the first community engaged course, the second, then strategy of social change, your upper division elective, and then your senior year, you can work on your winter and spring capstone, senior capstone. These can be like interchanged, moved around however you see fit. The only restrictions I would see are these two courses. These have to be completed the winter and spring of your senior year. And you have to have completed your core course before you can enroll into the capstone. So I always tell students to enroll in their core course first or have it as part of their first course they want to complete for the minor. And these can be interchanged in between by the time you get to your capstone. And for the for the 2-year plan, a shorter plan, a quicker plan, most students who follow this are transfer students. You could in the fall do your first community engaged course. In the winter, 50 XP isn't available. Remember, 100 XP will be. So you can enroll into that one. A community engaged course, your second one, strategy of social change, upper division elective, and then again, the winter and spring of your senior year, you have to complete your capstone, which is 191AX and 191BX. Amar, did you want to talk about how students can enroll in these courses, but they don't have to be in the minor? I really like that point you gave last session.
Oh, yeah. So You actually can kind of apply to the minor whenever you have the time or are ready to fully commit to it. So you can take these classes without having having it declared and it will still count no matter what. So for me, I took 50 XP in the winter of last year and I just declared my minor over the summer. But that 50 XP classes counted in my DARS and my degree. So if there are courses that I know a lot of the some of the upper div classes or like even some community engaged courses you might take as an upper div for your major already, and you're still kind of thinking about it, that's great. And then if you end up applying and getting and wanting to do the minor, then those will get counted. So you don't have to wait. I know our deadline I think is coming up to apply for next winter, but if you are kind of dead set on wanting to do the minor, just trying to explore it, you can still enroll in these courses before applying and they'll still get counted.
Yeah, thank you for that. Just as she said, so let's say you're still deciding if you want to be in the minor, but you're looking at these requirements and you're kind of thinking, let me try 50 XP or 100 XP. You don't have to be in the minor to complete that course. Once, let's say you really like it and you're taking 50 XP and then you enroll into your first community engaged course and your second and you're still not in the minor, that's totally fine. It's just once you declare into yourself into the minor, those courses would still fulfill the minor requirements. So don't feel like you're locked in or you need to apply, which we really hope. We really want you to apply to the minor, and we hope you really like the courses, but the courses are not restricted to only CESC minor students. Let's see, a question in the chat. Completing the minor isn't possible as a senior then if you have haven't taken the core course, I'm assuming that's question. Yeah, so with transfer students or seniors, one issue is that let's say they apply to the minor and they haven't done any courses and they're applying for the winter of their senior year. It's very difficult to bring in those students because they haven't done their core course requirement. You need to complete this course here before you can do your capstone. So that does block some students, especially seniors. And then you still have to fulfill the other courses as well too. But it is a case by case basis. I still encourage students to apply who are really interested. And I can speak with the review committee and see what options you may have, even if when you're applying, you haven't done the core course yet, but you're set to start the capstone in the winter. But I would still suggest you apply for the minor. Again, it's a case by case basis. We want to accept as many students as possible. Thank you for the clarity. You got it. You got it, Jocelyn. All right, so some application deadlines. As Amara said, we have our fall one coming very soon. Today is October 22nd. So in 2 days, the application deadline for the fall is set to arrive. And then for the winter, we have January 30th, way ahead in the year, 2025, into next year, actually. Spring 2025, which is in April. And I'm hoping you all apply. Again, I hope this presentation helped you kind of decide if this minor is right for you. It's a great minor for, as Amara can attest, it's a great minor for students to kind of get just figure out what's going on in the community, not just LA, but communities at large, and figuring out ways that you can make a difference in those communities, even after you graduate. You never know what could happen. And yeah, that's the end of our presentation. Amara, if you wanted to add anything, now's the time. If not, we'll
Oh
stick around for
yeah,
a couple
I'll
questions.
just add one quick thing. So, one thing that this minor definitely helped me with that I think a lot of people from what I've talked to, it's helped them as well, is thinking about post grad and like what you want to do when you graduate. Even I came in not wanting to do medicine because I really wanted to do environmental stuff, and then I found out that there's this thing called an environmental health disparity in community engagement, 50 XP. And then that kind of changed my whole like worldview a little bit and led me down like a path to like, okay, I want to do med school and also learn about these health disparities that are caused by environmental factors. So it's one thing, like I know I have another friend, she's really interested in prison reform, but she never thought that she could do it as a career or something. And then through these classes, a lot of these courses are guest speaker based, or the lecturers will have people from the community come in and speak. And so you get obviously the academic component of like sitting in the classroom learning about a certain topic. You get the community engaged aspect of getting out into a community and doing like the on the boots, like boots on the ground work. Um, but then also you can like get like some career help as well. Like it can expose you to a lot of different jobs or career paths that like I never considered were even a thing. So that's just another reason why you should apply.
Yeah, thank you for that, Amara. That's something huge that, students maybe enroll into CESC 50XP, and that's where they kind of figure out, wow, like I didn't even know this exists. This is something I really want to pursue, and that kind of gets you into the minor and figuring out if there's something you want to do, which we're hoping is. So we'll stick around for a couple minutes if you want to have any questions for me or for Amara. But the presentation has concluded, so I want to thank everybody who's joined. Again, we'll stick around for a couple minutes for any lasting questions.